Hello ladies and gentlemen, and Leicester have just been beaten 1-0 away at Liverpool on Boxing Day. Goal coming from Christian Benteke in the second half, and more importantly and worse than that was how poor the performance was today from the players. I mean, it was our poorest performance of the season. No one really had a good game. The substitutions, I think, came at poor times, should have come earlier really from Ranieri. And there was a lot that was so wrong about today. But obviously, you don't want to be here long. I don't want to be here long talking about this. You don't want to be listening to this very long because we've lost. But let's talk about what happened in the game then. So from start to finish, we were outplayed in every area. Liverpool came at us with the mentality that they wanted to attack us, put us under pressure and make us have to kind of revert away from our plan A and use plan B. We couldn't do that today. Our plan A is so strong when it's good, but we couldn't go away from our plan A today. Jurgen Klopp's a very good manager. Set his team up so they could do something with our kind of plan A, and they capitalised well against it. They attacked us like Arsenal did, the only other team who's beaten us this season, and they come away with 3 points at the end of the day. So it's worked brilliantly for Klopp. Now, there are a few players who were incredibly poor for us today. One was Mark Albrighton. Albrighton, obviously, I'm a big fan of, but had a terrible game today. Did nothing right, I'd say, for the whole game, really. Okazaki's another one, made absolutely no impact on the game. And Andy King is another one who made no impact on the game. Had a chance right at the end and coughed it up. Vardy didn't do anything. Mahrez had his glimpses, but didn't get enough of a ball, enough service to kind of be able to show what he could do. So it was not a good day at the office for any of the boys involved, really. It was so sloppy. The amount of times we gave the ball away in dangerous areas where it was so easy for them to win the ball back, to get kind of onto a counter-attack against us, I guess. I mean, not that we were attacking much, but you look at the stats, they had 25, 26 attempts, we had 5, 6 attempts. So the final score was a correct decision at the end of the day. I mean, it was a correct result. It was like none of us could moan about. It was one that none of us could be angry about, because Liverpool, yes, they're not the best team. They haven't got the best players in the Premier League, worse than teams we've beaten, arguably, but they've got a great manager and a great coach who set their team up brilliantly to play against us in the way we played. Our coach on the other hand today, I think Ranieri did a few things wrong. I thought a substitution should have come on at half-time. It was obvious we were losing the game at half-time in terms of possession of the ball, everything on the ball, we were losing the game. Now, for me, I think Gökhan Inler should have come on, could have offered some kind of support and control in the middle of the field, take off Okazaki, put him in the middle, put 5 in midfield, keep Vardy up top and go from there. But he didn't do that, kept it in the second half, got outplayed again in midfield. And then eventually the goal came from Benteke. It was a nice little play out wide on the left. Benteke came away from Hoof terrible inside the box, letting his man go away like that. Benteke finished it quite well after a pullback past Schmeichel. But it was what we deserved. It was what was coming the whole game, and we never looked like scoring a goal after that or before that. So that goal really, the game was over from that moment on. We did kind of grow into the game in inverted commas more than we did before the game, at least, when Dyer and Okazaki came on, and you know, it looked a bit like something could happen with 25 to go, apologies, but it never materialised. Fuchs' throw-ins gave us a few options, but we had a few corners, and again Christian Fuchs' delivery was terrible, one on top of a goal. One of them floated far too far, and it was just, I know we've scored in every Premier League game this season, and this was the game that we didn't even have a real chance. Vardy had a header in the first half, and Kramaric came on with 10 to go, someone who obviously I've wanted to see all season, but came on with 10 to go, didn't really have a chance to prove himself, but even he had a few touches which were poor. Like Bill had contracted a bug on Christmas to make them play below their standards that we're expecting to see of them all. I can't be too critical of them. Obviously, we're still top of the table, so I don't want to be too critical of the side. And I think they'll still have confidence going into the Man City game, but it's just a blip and we can come back from it. But, you know, your Fleet Street writers and your London big boys are going to come out now and say the bubbles burst and it's all over for Leicester. It was a great ride while it lasted. But let's not forget, we've only lost 2 games, and it was against Liverpool. It wasn't against Bournemouth or Norwich or one of those teams. It was against Liverpool, a team who have beaten title winners in recent years when they've been on their title run. I mean, people do lose games. It's only that Arsenal team who've lost no games, and Chelsea the season after lost 1 game. So teams who win leagues do lose games, and teams who finish top 4 do lose games, and especially against the bigger teams, and this is the first one in this run around Christmas we've lost. We're always poor on Boxing Day, so there might be a few positives at the end of the tunnel for us. Man City obviously next week. Company got injured today, came on, got injured again, so that could be good for us. Just a quick word on Liverpool. I think Liverpool were good today. Like I said, Klopp set them up perfectly to go against us. Origi started up front with a bit of pace. He went off injured. Benteke came on and then obviously ended up scoring against us, so that's encouraging signs for Liverpool. I think they'll do much better under Klopp, obviously, than Rodgers. I said that when he was appointed, because Klopp is such a superior manager to what Brendan Rodgers it was. But Leicester, on the whole today, we almost made Liverpool look good because we were so poor. But that's, again, not taking anything away from Liverpool. I thought they did enough to win the game easily. It could have been more than 1-0, especially at the end where Schmeichel came up from a corner and they had an attack about 5-on-1, and that one not being the goalkeeper. Benteke gets the ball about 30 yards out with an open goal and 4 men around him. Runs into the box, still 3 men around him, no one around him apart from Wes Morgan in front of him, and he misses. Morgan blocks it. Unbelievably poor from Benteke. They didn't win the game 2-0. Quickly, let's do my player ratings now. They'll obviously be linked down in the description for you or in the comments, but these are my ratings to the game. Schmeichel gets a 6. Didn't do anything right, didn't do anything wrong. Simpson gets a 5, didn't make any impact on the game at all. Morgan gets a 6, he did a terrible moment, but his overall blocking and covering was pretty good. Huth, he gets a 7. He was about our best player today. I think Robert Huth was pretty solid when it came to it in his defending. Fuchs was poor, I'll give him a 6. Albrighton, I'm going to give a 1 or a 2 to, maybe a 2 to be generous, but Albrighton had a terrible game, was very, very poor. Mahrez gets a 6, looked really good when he got the ball but didn't get enough of it. Conte gets a 6 again. I mean, broke the ball, game up well but lost the ball too often. King gets a 2 for me, was very, very poor today, looked out of his depth. Okazaki a 2 also. I know these ratings are really harsh and probably seem too harsh to people who haven't watched the game yet or haven't watched the whole game, but they were that below the level I expect really of this season. And obviously I hold my hands up, I'm not being too critical, we're still top of the league and it's an amazing position to be in, but if we want to challenge for top 4 I've got to give these ratings. And Vardy I'm going to give a 4 to, didn't make any impact on the game again, had one real chance with a header but that went over the bar, and the substitutes all give them 4s because they didn't make any real impact on the game. Nathan Dyer made the most, but still gave the ball away a few too many times. So I didn't want to waste too much time of your day today with this review. Let's go on to the next one. Let's move on to Manchester City, where hopefully we can get 3 points. We can get back to the top of the table if we aren't there by this time tonight. Please leave your comments below, let me know what you thought of the game. If you watched it, please like the video, even though Leicester City lost, and please subscribe. I will see you in the next one. Come on, you foxes, let's do it in the next one.